Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend review brought to you by our First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Lots to talk about, but the Pelicans are playing well all of a sudden, and they played one of their better games of the year against Minnesota, scored at will, looked really good offensively in the process, and beat a team that, for all intents and purposes are in contention with, although that is a very slim possibility that they could get to that 8 spot. Still, you had to be impressed.
You do, and look, they've got to. There's very little margin for error at this point, and you go back to Friday night, and I thought an impressive performance against the Rockets as well, a team that really has had their number all year, but yet they managed to flip the script a little bit. So it's it's encouraging to see that maybe look now that Boogie Cousins has been in place for about a month now, that things are starting to settle in, and you're starting to find a way to make all of these pieces mesh together. And it gives you, even if they don't make the playoffs, maybe it gives you some reason for optimism going forward.
Alvin Gentry deserves a better fate if, in fact, he's not here next year, because he's been given a roster you can't win with, and then he's been thrown a mishmash of players in the midst of a season and trying to make it work with, and he's doing the best he can in this particular circumstance. Most recently, loses Wayne Selden to Memphis after his 10-day contract expired. They did re-up Jordan Crawford for the rest of the year. Smart move. In my opinion, they ought to extend him further than that. He can play.
No doubt. And look, that's one of those things, too, as well, that if you sign somebody to a multi-year deal, it can do some things in your favor with the cap. And obviously, at some point, you're going to need to look at some big deals in the offseason, whether it's your existing players or signing free agents. And I will be very interested to see, first of all, what they're able to do with Cousins and how they choose to move going forward with that. And two, what kind of interest that piques from the outside for maybe some of those wing players or a point guard who may want to come in here and play with that inside combination of Davis and Cousins.
Division I basketball, LSU women eliminated in their first game. And, of course, where the men are concerned, UNO was eliminated last week. They didn't have any other teams in it here. But the tournament itself has been outstanding, and it's fun to watch. Good to see your friend Perry Clark still alive in the Sweet 16. Big win over Duke.
Yeah, what's interesting is, that Monday is the 25th anniversary of Tulane's first NCAA tournament game back in 1992 against St. John's, and you've got 3 guys off of that team who were alive in the Sweet 16. Perry Clark at South Carolina, Greg Gary at Purdue, Ron Everhart at West Virginia, all still playing into the second weekend.
Yeah, go figure. And on the NAIA level, congratulations to the Loyola men and women who got eliminated in the national tournament, to Dillard as well, who got knocked out. Of course, LSU Alexandria in the semifinals, still undefeated and having a good shot at a national championship.
Yeah, in the process, setting a Louisiana men's basketball record for most wins in a season. They're 34-0 going into the semifinals on Monday evening. If they win, they'll be playing for the national championship on Tuesday evening.
We don't talk about it much, but LSU gymnastics, SEC champions, they're really the second-best team in the nation to Oklahoma, and they really do have a shot nationally.
Put it together for one night, and you can be national champions. They are fun to watch, and I would argue at this point they're the second most popular sport on the LSU campus besides football. I mean, you look at the crowds that they've drawn at the PMAC this year. Now, obviously, there's fewer home events than, say, baseball, which is sustaining it over a longer period of time, but it's extraordinary, the following that Dee Dee Bro and that the family atmosphere that she has created there, and the interest in families and young girls, getting them out there to get involved with these events.
Speaking of baseball, LSU sweeps Georgia, opening weekend of the SEC. Had to hang on Sunday with their bullpen being banged up and shaky, quite frankly. Starting pitching's good. They hit the ball extremely well. Tulane won 2 out of 3 against Columbia. UNO got it done. They swept Abilene Christian. They're back even in the conference, which is important at this stage of the game. And speaking of Southeastern, they won 2 of 3 against Lamar. Yeah,
one thing you notice in the Southland standings is the Louisiana teams are up near the top. It just goes to show you the quality of Louisiana baseball. Of course, the Southland makes up a big part of that, especially in our neck of the woods. And then, of course, you've got LSU and UL Lafayette continuing to have a good year. Obviously a tough year for Tulane and Travis Jewett's first year, but look, this is a team that's got a lot of time. They don't start conference play for another couple of weeks, unlike some of the other leagues. They don't play. They play 24 conference games. It's a smaller league in baseball, the American. They've only got 8 teams, so still 2 more weeks before they get conference play started.
High school baseball. And we had St. Paul's defeating Shaw over the weekend on WGSO 990 AM. And, of course, we'll have a big game coming up Tuesday at SportsNOLA.com. John Curtis and Brother Martin, which will be shown on WHNO TV on Wednesday.
Right, Wednesday, 4:30 on WHNO, but first you can catch it right here live at SportsNOLA, 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, the start of Catholic League play. And look, the last, Curtis came in first year last year, won the league. Brother Martin had been dominating for a couple of years before that, so these have really been, kind of the bar setters, if you will, over the last few years in District 9 5A baseball.
And speaking of SportsNOLA, we'll have prep bowling playoffs for you Monday afternoon, which you can watch live from AMF All-Star Lanes in Kenner. And Brother Martin, a two-time defending state champion on the boys' side, Academy of Our Lady, top seed on the girls' side. We'll have it all for you. Unique coverage. We hope you'll watch at SportsNOLA.com.
Should be a lot of fun. I may have to teach you something about bowling, though. So, okay.
That'll be the day. It's okay. And with regard to high school football, story at SportsNOLA.com, Archbishop Shaw has named a new head football coach, and he is former Shaw star Tommy Connors, who was a safety for the Eagles and was an all-city, all-state player back in 2005 and went on the Southeastern, earned All-American honors as a safety, and has been at Shaw as an assistant for 5 years under Scott Bain's father, and has been defensive coordinator and was named interim head coach after Coach Bain's father left in January. Now he gets the interim tag removed, and he becomes head coach at his alma mater.
Congratulations to him. And look, it's when you're talking about Catholic League football, tradition is huge, and so many of these guys have gone back to their alma maters and become head coaches, and now much as was the case with Scott, now you've got Tommy Connors, a Shaw graduate, in taking over the reins of that program permanently.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank. First NBC Bank is a proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Lenny, have a great weekend.
We'll see you later this week.
You have a great weekend as well. Until next time, I'm Ken Trahan. Thanks for joining us, and God bless you.